Today we'll be working on problem solving 19A. A worker for the pest control company sprayed 3 buildings for insects. The least amount of liquid spray he used was 9 and 8/10 liters on the second building. The greatest amount he used was 12 and 7,700 liters on the first building, which could be the total amount of liquid spray he used on the 3 buildings. All right, so our question is, which could be the total amount of liquid spray he used on the 3 buildings? Well, we know that on the least amount of spray he used was 9 and 8/10 liters. On the second building, the greatest amount he used was 12 and 7,700 liters on the first building. We want to know which could be the total amount for the 3 buildings. So if there was 3 buildings, the least amount that he used was 9 and 8/10, and the most was 12 and 7,700. So the third building should be somewhere in between these 2 amounts. So the way we're going to figure this out, we're going to add these 2 amounts. So if I add them, it'll be 9 and 8/10, and we're going to add 12 and 7,700. That 8/10 does not have that 0 there, so I'm going to put that 0 there. All right, once we add these, then we have to subtract from these numbers, and it should give us a number that's in between these 2 numbers. When we subtract from these numbers and it doesn't give us a number in between, then it can't be our answer. Our answer has to give us a number that's in between these 2 decimals. So first I'm going to add these, line up the decimals. So 0 plus 7 is 7, 8 plus 7 is 15, 5, regroup the 1. Right, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 more is 12, 2, regroup the 1. So now we go 1 plus 1 is 2. So 22 and 5,700ths. This is still not our answer. We have to subtract from the total to get a number that's in between these 2, because the least he used was this number, the most he used is that number. That means the third number has to be in between these 2 numbers. All right, so since I know this is not my answer yet, I can get rid of A, because A gives me that answer. So I'm going to start with B. So I have 34 and 1/10. And I'm going to subtract my total of the other 2 decimals. I got to remember to line up my decimal. So it's 22 and 5,700. Now, again, there's not a number here, so I'm going to put that 0 here. And I'm going to start subtracting. So if I have 0, can I take away 7? I can't, so that means I have to regroup from the next number. So I'm going to group from this 1 in the 10th place. So if I regroup that 1, that's going to become 0. And that 1 that I regrouped, I'm going to put it right in front of this one. So now I have 10. 10 minus 7, that's 3. So I go here. If I have 0, can I take away 5? I can't. So again, I have to regroup. I'm going to regroup from the 1's place. So if I have 4 1s and I regroup one of them, I'm going to have 3 left. And I put the 1 that I regrouped in front of that 0. So now I have 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. I bring down my decimal. Then I go to the 1's place. Now 3 minus 2, that equals 1. And then 3 minus 2, that gives me 1 again. So if I look at these numbers, that's 11 and 5,300ths going between these 2 numbers. So 11 and 5,300ths is greater than 9 and 8/10, but it's also less than 12 and 7,700. So this one does fit in here. So that means our answer is going to be B. This is going to be 11 and 5300 because that number fits in between those. And I can check if I add these three numbers, I should get 34 and 1/10. So I know the total was this number, 22 and 5700. So if I add 11 and 5300, I should get 34 and 1/10. So 7 plus 3 is 10. 0, regroup the 1. So 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 1 more, that's 11. Regroup the 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 more is 4. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 34 and 1/10. My answer is B. Now you try 19B on your own.